a year and a half ago, I got diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. Oh gosh, here I go. Stage 4 colon cancer. And it was, I had a tumor in my colon, I had tumors in my lymph nodes, and then I had about 9 tumors in my liver, the largest of the 9 being the size of a softball. So pretty significant. And it was not looking good. And I, in terms of, what was happening medically, like I didn't have much longer in that current state. So we immediately got on chemo, and it was more the hope from the doctors, at least in that first pass, was just, let's kind of try to keep you around as long as we can. But that intent was mostly just to prolong life, not to cure. And that was a really interesting journey, going from someone who it was, very type A personality, like DC is my home. These are my people. We plan, we chart things, we set goals, and we accomplish them. And I've got my 5-year, 10-year, 20-year plan all mapped out. And this was not in that. And so kind of being confronted by that and just saying, wow, my timeline, which I thought was going to be years and years and years and decades, is now months. And kind of what does that look like? With the time that I've got left, and I've got 2 little girls, they're 4 and 6. And, when I was first diagnosed, I had to be hospitalized. And I missed my daughter's 4th birthday. And that was hard. But oh no, gosh, at that time it was her 3rd birthday. Yeah. So yeah, that was hard. But in the whole experience, I think just God has been there 100%. And from the very, very beginning, since diagnosis, like prayer was a part of this, because chemo and surgery and, doctors and therapies, they can only do so much, especially in my case. Like, there was no way this is going to get good without God. And, from the very beginning too, I reached out to the elders here at BCC, and they prayed over me. And then the women's ministry, the prayer ministry, at every major scan and major juncture, we had Zoom prayer meetings, and they prayed over me, and powerful things happened during those. I felt the Holy Spirit so closely, like both in those meetings, but also just throughout this entire journey. And one of the things we prayed for was peace. I mean, at the end of the day, what can you do? But you can have peace in what you're going through. And I have felt that is the peace that defies all understanding. And so where I used to be a very anxious person and very, control oriented, that completely disappeared. And that was through prayer, 100%. I think there was no anxiety. There was sadness, I think. But there was also so much peace and so much clarity mentally. And I think I really had the opportunity to refocus how I think through things and how I see life. And especially in this time, oddly enough, life became technicolor. And I got to see things more clearly and more beautifully. And I got to connect with God in a way I would never have been able to had I not had this experience. So there was certainly value in this journey all along the way. And it's still hard as I'm kind of coming out of the therapies that I've been on. I just recently got cleared to get off of chemo. With the most recent scans, the scans came back clear, the blood work came back clear, and I'm in a place right now where they call it NED, which is no evidence of disease, and that's a huge, huge accomplishment. I mean, the doctors are really astonished and absolutely delighted. And at the end of the day, the disease that I have, there is a high chance of recurrence. So it's a reality. But the fact that we've gotten here completely defies all logic and all medicine. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And at the end of the day, have two things. One, I get more time, and then two, I get to live the rest of whatever life I have left with this new perspective and new heart that I've been able to acquire through this experience. And truly, I go back to prayer. Like, at the end of the day, like, that is what has sustained me and my family. That is what has given me clarity and peace. And that's also the thing that shifted my perspective with all of this. There was no fear. Again, there was like sadness maybe, but there was no fear, because at the end of the day, either outcome would be fine. Either I would have more time and be with my family, and that's wonderful, or I'd have less time and get to be with God sooner, and that was also wonderful. So, but I don't think I would have been able to have that peace and perspective had I not been surrounded by women who were lifting me up and helping me acquire that, and it kind of blows my mind to think that someone could have this similar cancer journey and not have that support, because it's hopeless, without it. And I didn't have that. I had hope, and I think that really made the difference. And luckily for me, God figured it was in his plan to clear this up and give me more time, and I pray that he continues to feel that way. So we'll keep praying for that. But as of now, things are in an unreal place. If you had told me that I'd be here, 17, 18 months ago when I got diagnosed, there's no way I would have believed it. There's no way the doctors would have believed it, But here I am.